In Ecclesiastes 9:11, Solomon said that time and chance happens to everyone. Let's talk about the speed bumps on the road of life. And then, of course, we have some open road also. But everyone has speed bumps, so to speak. And now, obviously, that term is figurative, but there are things that just slow you down at times. You cannot run open throttle, wide open, 24/7. Most of us need some sleep, for example. Now, there are some people that only need 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Many of us prefer 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but that's our speed bump. Then our health may slow us down at times. If you catch the COVID, you're going into quarantine for a while. You're going to be kind of off the road a little bit. Maybe other health considerations that slow you down, less time, maybe even more time, maybe for months. Could be something that's disabling, and it changes the entire way that you run the race of life, and every day feels like a speed bump. But you keep going. Life just throws everything at us. So the race is not to the swift, the battle is not to the strong, and riches are not to men of understanding, but time and chance happens to them all. And so there are those regular speed bumps, like sleep, or I got to stop to eat a little bit. And then there are those speed bumps that come along that we didn't see coming. They just seem to pop up out of nowhere. That's the way life works. Now, when you get out there and you have that open road and there just doesn't seem to be any traffic and everything's just flat and smooth for as far as you can see, put the metal down and enjoy life. When life gives you those sunshiny days, magnify them, use them, utilize them any way you can to get everything you can out of them, because you know and I know there's a dark, cloudy day coming. There's a speed bump up ahead. There's some construction. There's some bridge out. And it's going to slow you down and send you a different route. Now, when you come to the speed bumps, what are you going to do? Are you going to power through them? Or are you going to ease over them? Well, the speed bumps of life, there's no one single answer. I'm going to tell you, usually you want to be wise and ease over them or around them if you can. But there may be a time where you're facing a literal life and death emergency and you do need to power through it. And it isn't going to be pretty, but you don't have time to slow down for this speed bump. You got to go. But otherwise, if it's not a life or death emergency, I'm going to tell you, ease through it. Just take your time and get through that speed bump with all the wisdom that you can get. And then it will be behind you, and then you can start increasing your speed. You can start pressing the throttle down. I know of one speaker who had to have knee replacement, and it was going to really disrupt his speaking schedule for some time to come. And instead of feeling like the speed bump was unfair, he said, okay, this is the time I'm going to get caught up on all the reading and all the study and all the other things I've been meaning to do and putting off because I've been too busy. And he went through his surgery and he caught up on everything and he came out. He just eased through it and he was doing better on the other side. And a lot of it's just going to be the way you think. So people can go, well, that's not fair. And we can blame life. We can blame politicians. We can blame global, economic, whatever. I mean, there are plenty of people to blame. Now, my question is, what good did it do you? If blaming resolved anything, then there would not be any problems in the world today. The men at the coffee shop that sat around and properly assign blame to a zillion different places don't resolve a thing. They're entertained a little bit, but after the coffee's gone and they head out the door to do whatever old men do, nothing changed. Nothing changed. The world is just the same as it was when they entered the coffee shop to sit around and complain. Complaining. It's worthless. A little entertainment, but otherwise it's worthless. Nobody really cares to hear you complain, and nobody's going to step in and fix what's going on in your life. Another thing I would say is don't take it personal. Look, you got to eat, you got to sleep. Now, we don't take that one personal, right? We might cut our sleep back a little bit sometimes under a tighter schedule. We might eat on the run sometimes, but do you ever take it personal? Do you ever feel like, man, life is just cheating me to death? I don't want to eat. It's making me eat. No, you grab a bite and you go. You don't do that with sleep either, right? Well, then life throws something else at you that you did not anticipate, something a little less pleasant than sleep and eating, and all of a sudden the temptation to whine and cry and go, it's not fair, and take it personal, now it's there. And you've got to look around and understand that you and I are not the only people that ever had a flat tire when we could not afford the time for a flat tire. You and I are not the only people who ever had a transmission go out of their car. Sorry. There are millions and millions of people who have been through that same experience. You and I are not the only ones who are going to get COVID or some other sickness or disease and be out of the game for 10, 15 days or maybe 6 weeks or 6 months. Millions and millions and billions of people have experienced this in the racetrack of life. It's not personal. Don't take it personal. Don't be a crybaby. You're an adult. Grow up and deal with it. Now, I know that sounds kind of harsh, but give me a better alternative. Yes, I'll weep with those who weep. That's what the Bible teaches. But after we've had a moment of encouraging and comforting one another, there comes a point where we got to say, okay, this is where I am. What does my future look like now? What are my options? How can I ease on through this and come out the other side a better person? That's getting kind of deep, isn't it? Let's quit right there. There are some thoughts to think about. Put your comments below. And as always, have a great day.